is up? What is happening, everybody? It is Janelle here, and welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you are returning. I am so happy to see all of you guys here today. And so I'm continuing the second half of my video that I did last week called 20 Lessons I Learned at University. Stay tuned. Number 11, resilience. When you really want that A+, you didn't quite get it, when you get suspended and don't want to get suspended again, push harder, keep going, keep on keeping on. You will find that threshold and you will surpass it, and it might not get easier per se, but you will feel more confident in what you're doing, which is honestly half the battle. Number 12, be kind to yourself. Be your number one supporter. There's no time for you to put yourself down. There will be plenty of people who will take that role on for you. I can assure you of that. Okay, it is the worst thing to be your own worst enemy. And I struggle with this every single day. Every single day, I'm so positive with other people, and I'm always encouraging them, motivating them to be their best self. But then it's like the positivity that I show them is the negativity that I show myself. Number 13 is take care of yourself in all the ways possible. This kind of goes back to one of the lessons in last week's video that talks about, what was it? Just taking care of yourself, how finding time for yourself. And this is basically just like the second part of that. School can be extremely exhausting. Whether you have everything together, whether you are scheduled to a T and completely organized, it can be exhausting. When you start getting pushed around by life, that is usually when you know something is very bad, something needs to be switched, changed immediately for you to get back on track. Number 14, learn about yourself. I love how we are in these bodies. It's like God gave us these assignments, these bodies that are constantly changing, constantly doing different things, and here we are in our minds thinking like, okay, so I didn't realize that I wasn't a huge fan of that until I tasted it. And I love how school taught me at a rather quick pace of what I like, what I don't like, what I need to be improving in myself, what I need to be doing less of, and that kind of thing. It's actually been really, really fun. It's like when you have a child. I've never had a child, but seeing newborns and just seeing how they change and just being so fascinated by them. I feel like that's the same way that we should be fascinated with ourselves and how we're growing. Not to be narcissistic. Okay, there needs to be a balance, but being excited to learn about who you are. Number 15, center yourself. Have a backbone, my friend. Have some morals, have some values. There were some courses that I took in my very first year of university that were teaching me some things where I felt very uncomfortable. And I really had to question myself. I had to question, like who I was and if I believed that kind of thing, and figure that out with myself. So there will be times, there will be people that will try to push you over to their side. And sometimes you really have to put your foot down, and you can't be thinking about what people will think. Oh, that's another thing. People pleasing. Oh man, I'm gonna do a whole series on that too, because that's a good one. But sometimes you need to put your foot down, and you might look like the bad guy, but if you know that it doesn't sit well with you, leave that situation. Number 16, the piece of paper that you get that says that you finished your degree, you have it, it's beautiful, whatever, it doesn't define you. Whether you did amazing in school, whether you did poorly in school, it doesn't define you. You don't have a bumper sticker with your transcript on it when you walk around. Number 17, procrastinating is actually the worst thing. It is actually so crippling. I do it to this day, and it took me a while to realize that when I was in school and I wasn't getting the grades that I wanted, it wasn't because I was unintelligent. It was because I had very bad correction. It was because I have very bad time management skills. I mean, you don't want to look at the rate in which I've been posting videos, for example. But I've accepted it. I've accepted that that is how I am, and I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna take the bull by the horns, and do something about it. And number 18, what works in tandem with that is scheduling and organization. It's important. I used to think that I wasn't a scheduler. I'm like, I don't need to schedule stuff. But honestly, even if it's just to write down a to-do list, just to keep myself on track. To be like, okay, so we can't waste 5 hours just doing absolutely nothing, because in those 5 hours, this, and this needs to be completed. And I find that I'm not good with timed schedules. Like, at 8:15 you're doing this, at 8:30 you're doing that, at 8:45, no. Girl, whoever you may be, I am bound to intentionally go against that. But if it's like a rough time schedule, or again, if it's just in the morning complete this, in the afternoon complete that, I'm better with it. I'm not good with it, but I'm better with it. And that's a step in the right direction for now. Number 19, take yourself seriously. This is to be like, if you're after you finish your degree, or as you're finishing your degree, and you meet people who are really inspiring to you, make connections with them. You're hearing a lot about LinkedIn and a site called 10,000 Coffees, when you get to meet with people and get mentored by people, or be a mentor to people. Be serious about where you're trying to go. Okay, because I really think that from here on out, as you're an adult and learning, this is when you're building your character. So be serious about what you're doing. Yeah, sure, your first couple of years of university, you can have fun and, do like wild, crazy things when you're not getting in trouble, of course. But there has to come a point where you're like, okay, so what am I trying to do with my life? And does this line up with where I'm trying to go? And if it doesn't, how can we fix it so that it does? But taking yourself seriously is really important to having people believe you, having people stand by you and stand behind you in your endeavors. Number 20, you'll get through it. This too shall pass. Whether it is good, soak it all up and love every minute of it, but realize that it will come to an end. And if it's bad, it will pass. It will get better. Believe that. You have to believe that. You have to be the hope for yourself. 21, have an anchor. Have a spiritual anchor. Not just any kind of anchor. Have a spiritual anchor. Know what your purpose is through that anchor that you have. I don't know that I can say any more about that. Just have a spiritual anchor. It will take you so far. Then number 22 is understanding the concept that what you put in is what you're gonna get out. So don't be acting like you're surprised when you get a D+, but you didn't really do the work. You didn't really put in the work. Or when you put in a little bit of work and then you expect some magic, couple sprinkles of fairy dust on top of that on top of the mediocre work that you did to get you a superb assignment grade. No, honey. What you put in is what you get out. I hope, again, that these tips or lessons were useful and you're able to apply them to your life. And of course, subscribe, click the bell for more weekly videos. I'm trying to get into the rhythm of twice a week with the Monday motivational booster and then an extra video. So Mondays and Thursdays roughly. So again, me not procrastinating, me sticking to my word and doing my best to get that done and have that happen for you guys. So click the bell for more weekly videos and like the video and leave a comment. Good morning, noon, and night, wherever you are in the world. and I shall talk to you again soon. Toodles! Okay. Battery, you are not allowed to be any more dramatic. Okay? I'm almost done. I'm almost finished. She's trying to rush me, trying to tell me hurry up. Okay. Okay. No! No, not again. I refuse to have you stop on me.